All right, today we are digging into a question that, let's be honest, probably keeps a lot of business leaders up at night. How do you keep innovating? And we're not talking about buzzwords here, we're talking about straight up survival. We're going to use the Scaled Agile Framework as our guide because it provides this really powerful blueprint for building innovation right into a company's DNA. Okay, let's get into it. So let's just start with this really basic question. You look at the market, it's crowded with ideas, right? Why is it that some products just grab our attention, they become part of our lives, while others, they just fizzle out? Well, the answer, more often than not, really boils down to one thing: continuous innovation. It's not a nice-to-have feature anymore. It's an absolute necessity. So what is it about right now that makes things so demanding? Well, we're basically facing a perfect storm of three huge challenges that have completely changed the rules of the game. And the first challenge? It all starts with us, the customer. In this digital age, our expectations are just through the roof. We expect these seamless, valuable experiences. And if a product doesn't deliver, we'll find one that does in a heartbeat. Loyalty is something you have to earn with every single interaction. Then you've got the absolutely relentless pace of technology. We're talking about massive forces like AI that aren't just little upgrades, no, they are rewriting the playbook for entire industries. They're making things that felt like science fiction just yesterday a business reality today. And if that wasn't enough, the world is more connected than it's ever been. Globalization means a new disruptive competitor can pop up from literally anywhere at any time. So that old idea that you can just coast on your past success to stay ahead, yeah, that strategy is officially dead. Okay, so when you're facing all of these challenges, the only real way forward is to innovate. But what do we actually mean when we say product innovation? Let's get a really clear definition on the table. So according to the Scaled Agile Framework, it's this ongoing process. And the keyword there for sure is ongoing. This isn't some one-time project you launch and then forget about. It is about constantly, relentlessly, looking for ways to create new value, whether that's a brand new product or a game-changing improvement to something you already have. And this right here is such a critical piece of the philosophy. SAFe makes the case that you can't just stick an innovation team in a corner office and hope for magic. For this to really work, innovation has to be part of everyone's job. It has to be woven right into the daily fabric of the teams actually building the products. So if innovation is everybody's responsibility, how do you make sure it's all going in the right direction? Well, you start with a solid blueprint, a really clear vision, and a focused strategy. Let's see how that works. A great vision really has two sides of the same coin. On one hand, it has to be compelling, bold, ambitious, the kind of thing that gets the whole company excited to show up to work. But it also has to be effective. It needs to be grounded in reality so you can create a sustainable plan and build a real, lasting connection with your customers. You absolutely need both. And this just goes to show that a vision isn't set in stone. I mean, look at Slack. It actually started as an internal messaging tool for a video game company. When it became obvious the game was failing, the founders pivoted. They saw the real potential wasn't in the game, but in their communication tool. And they built this powerful new vision around it that has totally changed how we work. Strategy is how you make that vision real. A great example is Caterpillar. Their vision was to use tech to build safer, lower-cost mining trucks. So what was their strategy? Well, it was a step-by-step plan. First, add sensors to the trucks. Then, integrate all that data. And eventually, launch semi-autonomous trucks. See how each step builds on the last one, delivering real value the whole way? Okay, so you've got your vision and strategy locked in. Now it's time to actually make it real. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of designing the right product. And just as important, delivering it the right way. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? How do you stop yourself from spending months, maybe even years, building something absolutely beautiful that in the end, nobody actually uses? The answer is all about a disciplined, customer-obsessed approach to design. So how do you build what people want? SAFe points to 4 key practices. First up, you've got customer centricity. That's just a deep, obsessive focus on your users' real-world problems. Then there's design thinking, which gives you tools to brainstorm and quickly mock up new ideas. That's followed by lean UX, where you test a core idea using a minimal marketable feature, or MMF. That's the smallest possible thing you can release that a customer will actually use and get value from. And finally, for those really big ideas, the EPIC process uses a minimum viable product, an MVP, to see if a whole new product idea is even worth building. It's all about learning fast before you build big. Now, once you have an idea that you validated, you need an efficient way to get it out to your customers. And that's the job of the continuous delivery pipeline. Think of it like an idea factory that moves new features smoothly from a concept all the way to release, right through these 4 stages. And the ultimate goal, the whole point of this entire pipeline, is something SAFe calls a superpower: release on demand. This is literally the ability to get new value into your customers' hands at precisely the right moment, whether that's to counter a competitor, jump on a market opportunity, or just test a new feature. It's the definition of business agility. Building a great product and delivering it efficiently is fantastic, but there are 2 final pieces you have to have in place to make sure it truly matters in the market, and that you can keep this whole innovation thing going for the long haul. First up is marketing. Look, you can build the most innovative product in the world, but if your customers don't understand why it's valuable, it's going to fail. Product marketing is that critical bridge. It translates all your cool technical features into compelling customer benefits, making sure all your hard work actually connects with the people you built it for. And holding all of this up, the foundation for everything is culture. And innovation culture is a place where learning never stops, where experimentation is encouraged, and where failure is seen as a learning opportunity, not something to be punished. It's an environment where leaders actively create psychological safety, so teams feel empowered to take the smart risks that lead to breakthrough ideas. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's bring it all together with a really powerful mental model: the innovation flywheel. Here's the key takeaway from all of this. None of these things exist in a vacuum. They are not a linear checklist you work through. Vision informs strategy, which guides design. Delivery gives you feedback that refines that design, and marketing communicates the value. And the whole thing is powered by a supportive culture. Each element pushes the next, creating this self-reinforcing cycle, a flywheel of continuous innovation and growth. And that really brings us to the final critical question you should be asking yourself. Take a hard look at your own organization. Is it built to innovate, or is it just built to operate? The answer to that question could make all the difference. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.